first hour we'll do light presentation. Second hour is going to be hands-on impact map creation. So here's the format that I'm thinking. We'll try and stay as close to it as possible. 40 minutes of covering the fundamentals. So we'll go through the slides. We'll maybe end with 10 minutes Q&A. And then the next hour will be, so that's 50 minutes. Hoping, we don't have to take any breaks in between. If we can skip that break, then we can do 60 minutes of hands-on workshop. So that's when you guys will be in breakout rooms. Pat's gonna help with creating the breakout rooms and assigning you to a team. So I'll guide you guys through that, and then at the end we'll end with a debrief as well. So just some housekeeping rules. If you guys can do this first one, type in your name and your experience, your prior experience with any impact mapping. If you've done it, yes or no is just fine. And then your experience level with product management. And for the purpose of this session, if you were involved in any kind of decision making, whether to build something or not, that's what we would consider as having been part of product management. So if you were part of a decision where decision was made that yes, we're going to build something, or no, we're not going to build that, that qualifies. So identify yourself as either a beginner, intermediate, advanced, or master, and then Pat and the other volunteers, they will be using that information to put you in a group and hopefully in a situation where we have a good mix of people so we can learn from each other as well. Active participation, when we are talking all at once, it can be hard because there are so many people and we're not in the same room, so we're not seeing who else might be trying to speak. So best way might be to go through Pat or Martin if you have a question, and they can let you speak, and then that way we'll have a smoother flow. Use the Zoom chat option to ask questions that can wait. So if what I'm covering on a particular slide, if you're not having trouble understanding that, then maybe just type your question in the chat, and Pat or Martin or the other volunteers, they can call that out, and I'll take the time to answer that. Oh, looks like somebody else is trying to share their screen. I may have to do that again, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Is somebody sharing their screen? Is it me?
I think it was a mistake. Somebody may have.
Oh, okay. I thought I might have hit that or something.
Mm-mm. Okay. All right, so talked about the Zoom chat option. So no formal breaks. We're striving for an impactful 120 minutes. With so many people, it's gonna be a challenge. If it was a smaller group, it was gonna be easy. But we have to give people time to come back from the breakout room and talk about what they did. So that can take up some time. If we end up going over a little bit and you can't stay, that's fine. But if you can, I'm hoping that we can all learn from each other as well. So that's the idea. Pat, Martin, you guys want to add anything before I get into the remainder of the presentation?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. So if you have any question, put in the chat room, but if we don't have time to respond there, at least we will respond to you even after the meeting. So we will collect the information there. Okay.
Sounds
Go ahead.
good. All right. Okay, so the workshop objective to create at least one impact map that creates a business impact for your organization and to increase your knowledge of the impact mapping process. As a result of this, you should be able to not only create it and align your map to your business objective, but also have the knowledge to share it with your teams. And I mentioned that separate deck. If any of you actually want to facilitate this with your team in your organization, then I'll give you that other detailed steps as well. It can get a little bit complex, so that's why I left that out of today's session. Okay, so this is an impact map right here. So it's a visual mind map, and Gojko Adzic is the person who created it based on earlier work done by others. And his idea was to bridge the gap between business and technical folks on software projects where a lot of things were being built, but sometimes not used by the end users. It was creating a tremendous waste in terms of money spent and time spent and lost opportunities. So he created this as a way of validating that what we're building is essentially going to solve the problem, the bigger business problem that we need to solve for. So I'll explain in detail each one of these, but the key idea is that we start with the business objective, or which he calls the goal. And then, a little bit different from other similar methods, he goes into the actual user and other stakeholders that can have an impact on achieving or not achieving that goal. So that's why the actors are the second layer. And then through the actors, we try to create the impact that's going to help us achieve our business goal. And then finally, we talk about what to build, and those are the deliverables. So it's a little bit counterintuitive from a traditional project management perspective, where we may decide, based on the voice of the customer or other things. We have heard from SMEs that we need to build something, but this is actually taking the opposite approach and saying, okay, if this is the business impact we want to create, and these are the people that are involved in either helping or hurting that, then what are the things that each of these actors have to do so that we can achieve our business goal? So let's take a closer look at each one of these. Let's take a look at the business goal first. So this is, you guys probably are all familiar with the SMART goals. So this is exactly that, but it shouldn't be about building products or delivering project scope. It should explain the business or customer value that we're trying to create. So a couple examples can be start trading in Brazil by March next year, or increase user conversion by 20% in 3 months, because these are adding to the bottom line of the business. So that's why these are important goals for the business. So next, we'll take a look at the actors, or the people that can either help or hurt. So it's actually anyone, not only end users, even though they may be the biggest party in this, but these are people or entities that can significantly influence the success of the project or a product milestone, and can include end users, internal or external decision makers. So there are 3 types, and for the purpose of today's session, we won't get into all of those, but just to keep in mind that there are primary actors, secondary actors, and offstage actors as well. So they may not be as visible, but they exist. Some examples: Mike Smith from the marketing department, under 18 users with a mobile device at a concert, and in Gojko Adzic's book, he goes through an app where he's talking about increasing the user base to 1 million. So this under 18 users would be an important component of that. And Apple iTunes Store approvers, again, to help download that app that helps with increasing his sales and user base. So now we talk about the impact, which is how these actors are helping or hurting, that behavior. And that's the, for the most part, that is the most counterintuitive part for some people. So if you have any questions, please type it in the chat after I've covered this, and I'll be sure to make sure that we're all on the same page before I move forward. So the how is, these are not product features. This is actually defined in a way where we're changing the behavior of the actor. So let's say our goal is to increase business revenue. So if we can make our actor or end user buy more from us, that's the change in behavior. So that's the kind of change in behavior we're talking about. So when you guys are doing the exercise, you shouldn't be listing every single thing, but only the significant ones that can help move us in that direction. So we start with the business goal, and that's something you guys will be deciding as a team. And based on your business goal, the right kind of behavior that can help us move towards that are the ones that you guys should be listing out. And then finally, we get to the deliverables, which is, normally in a traditional project, we would start here, even though we may have covered all of these in one setting or another, but here we address that last. So this is where we don't try to make a complete list from the start. So we will do it iteratively. Even if you're in a traditional project, the key idea here is that don't start with everything, because then we won't know if we're making the right kind of progress towards the business goal or not. So we will maybe set up milestones and see if we're achieving the first milestone before we try to do more of it. So some of those can be online ticket sales with separate milestones set up, and some immediate and intermediate deliverables like mobile homepage with purchase forms, optimizing call center sales scripts, and sign reselling contracts. All things that are geared towards helping the business's bottom line or creating a business impact. So I'll stop there and see if anybody has any questions before I move on, because this is the core and I'll build on this going forward. Any questions?
So there one question that you want to say, will you share the slides with everybody?
Yes, I'll send out a PDF of the slides.
Okay, thank you.
Cool, all right. Okay, so I'll keep moving. So the impact map purpose and benefits, it's a strategic planning technique, prevents organizations from getting lost when they're building products, and helps deliver projects by clearly communicating assumptions, and I'll point that out a little bit more. It helps the teams align their activities with the overall business objective, and that's really the key goal. And if you create roadmaps, then it helps inform the roadmap better, so better decisions can be made, because also you're doing things based on milestones or iterative approach. So by doing that, you can actually readjust your roadmap to do more of what's working right and do less of what's maybe not working so well. So by doing that, it reduces waste, provides focus, increases collaboration between at least business and IT, and maybe even multiple teams working together. And most importantly, it verifies that the team is building the right thing or the right solution. So here are some definitions. I covered them before, but just so we are all aligned, this goal, which is really the business impact, it's a measurable change in the business results. So revenue, customer conversion rate, those kind of things that add to the bottom line of the business. That's what we're talking about here as far as the goal. The impact, which is out, primarily through users, but it can be through other stakeholders as well. And we'll see at least one example of that. So it's a measurable change in user behavior. So we're getting somebody to do something that is helping us to attain our business goals. And then finally, we talk about the deliverables, which is what we produce. And this can be an experiment, a feature, service, and so on and so forth. So the who is not here, but it's the users and stakeholders and anybody that can impact significantly. So if no questions, I'll keep moving.
Yeah, there's one question in the chat room.
Okay.
Why is the impact the most counterintuitive? Why is the impact the most
because a lot of times the impact is not known until you have delivered, right? So this is the reason why, you know, when we do this map, this is still a lot of assumptions and theories right here because we haven't delivered anything. Nobody has used it, so we don't know if it's going to work or not. So that's why it can, when you guys are working to build that, you'll be making a lot of assumptions and be theorizing or hypothesizing. And that's essentially what a product manager ends up doing. They hear from so many different stakeholders, the voice of the customer, market research, and ultimately they have to make a decision on what to build. And it ends up, it boils down to having a solid hypothesis that can be proven or disproven. So this impact is generally proven by a lagging indicator, but sometimes you may find a leading indicator, and then it's easy to validate that as you're building or as you're rolling out that part of the solution.
Yeah, I think what you're referring to are the outcomes that you're going for, whether it's profit or customer satisfaction or
Yes.
sales. It's not output, which is
Right.
how many lines of code we're creating, how many deliverables.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's what we're going to be talking about next, actually. So thank you. Yes, so that brings us to this. So when I didn't use the content from Gojko Adzic's book, so the book actually looks like this. This is the book that he wrote. So when I'm not using content from his book, I have the sources at the bottom. So you guys are free to go and click on those links and learn more about this. This one I had to adapt a little bit because the impact and outcome and goal and objective, different authors use them interchangeably and then it can get confusing. So I had to reword them a little bit. So this is where we're talking about the output, outcome, and impact that William was talking about. So outputs are tasks or things that we work on, like user stories, epic features, or we create a product. These are all outputs. They become outcome or they generate outcome when somebody uses them, and we've created these to solve a problem, or it's creating a new possibility for us. And ultimately, when the customers adopt or change their behavior, like in the case of buying more, that's a change in behavior, then they generate the impact for the organization, which ends up helping the bottom line or the net result for the business. So we tend to execute like this. We start with a list of things that we must build, and that's okay if we got there through some valid reasoning, but we essentially, in line with the impact mapping, we need to plan like this. We need to start with the impact or the business result that we are hoping to get and things that can drive the customer behavior. So if we want the customer to buy more, we have to make it easy for them to buy, for one example, right? You guys may come up with other bright ideas. Or we may give them some incentive or something. So all of those are valid ideas on driving customer behavior. And if we can solve a customer behavior, customer problem through our deliverables, those are the products, features that we want to ship. So when we're planning, we can plan like this, starting with a goal, and then identifying the actors, then identifying the impacts that they can create, and then finally deciding if we're working on the right kind of deliverables. So this is another view of the impact map structure. We start with the why, then talk about who, then how, and the what. So at the start, we talk about business goal, the why, then we talk about actors, all the ones that can have significant impact on the outcome, positive or negative. And then we talk about how these actors are helping or hurting. And then that helps us decide on what epics, features, user stories, or if you're in traditional project management, this would be where we decide on what product to build. So different view of the same thing. The why is at the top, the who, how, what, and then whether we build this or not. So this is where as product managers or project managers, decision needs to be made whether we should build it or not. And the whole idea about impact mapping is this should provide a solid ground by the time you guys have the discussion to know that this is a reasonable thing to do at this point. So another view, impact, actor, outcome, output, and then these are treated as experiments because we don't know if this is going to be successful or not. So what's known and what's derived as we continue, impact is derived and aligned with the company's strategy. A lot of companies use objectives and key results to align their strategy across the organization. This is essentially the objective is your business goal, and key results tend to be measuring outcomes, preferably leading indicators again, so that we know that we're making progress. So impact mapping is in the class of few other ideas, and OKR being one of them, that addresses, are we working on the right thing? Are we able to measure the value creation or confirm our hypotheses that, this is adding value? Some of the other ones may be lean business startup or MVP kind of things that you guys may be more familiar with. Jobs to be done could be another one. So there are a whole bunch of similar ideas, but this is another one that's pretty simple. So it doesn't require a lot of initial time investment to get started. You can get the right people in a room and start talking and evolve it from there. The actors may be partially clear from the start, but as you get into the depth of it, you may find some secondary and off-stage actors. The primary actors may be, pretty clear from the beginning, but you may uncover some secondary and off-stage actors as you get into it. The outcomes, they are continuously uncovered, and you'll see that in your own group sessions as well. And quantitative and qualitative research is another way that you can get some good ideas on what these outcomes should be. So in line with the outcomes, we try to align the outputs, the deliverables that we work on to generate the outcomes. So they also need to be refined as we refine our outcomes. So that brings us to what we should measure to know that we're making the right kind of impact or progress, right? So our theory is that by making an impact on actors, we will reach our goal. That's the underlying assumption in impact mapping or in anything we're building, right? So impact mapping is just making it visible. But we as individuals, as project members, we make these assumptions that what we're going to deliver is going to create a business impact for the organization. Our users are going to love it, they're going to use it, and we'll get great benefit out of it. This is a way to validate if those assumptions are actually true or not. So two things to measure would be how close to the goal, the business goal that we are trying to get to, and how much we have changed the behavior of the user. So in terms of sales, are they buying more or not? So that kind of thing we should be measuring to validate if our theory or hypothesis is accurate or if we need to adjust that. So each of the connections in the impact map is actually an assumption, which can be proven wrong. So we have to be mindful of that. So once we do those two measurements, the outcome and the impact, so if we have leading indicators, then are we selling more? Are the features that we delivered, are they actually resulting in more users coming to our platform and buying more? So those kind of things, through quantitative and qualitative research, we can validate if it's happening or not. If it's not happening, then we can try to identify the root cause and make adjustments. And then next time we work on our backlog or we decide what to build, we can make that adjustment there. So that's why one of the recommendation from Gojko Adzic is don't build on the whole map all at once. Set up milestones and build a little bit at a time so that you can validate if you're delivering on the right kind of things or not. So let's look at some examples. And let me do a quick time check. So we should be okay, I think. So this is an example of somebody wanting to lose weight. So the person is Ian, and he can eat less and regularly. So he can then analyze current eating habits. These are some of the change in behavior that we're looking to see if that might help with eating less and regularly. Change diet, fast once per week. Do more sport, morning exercises, sign into and regularly visit fitness club. So these are all the things that he can do. Sleep at least 8 hours per day, go to bed at 11 o'clock. But Ian's family can be a secondary actor as well. They can also support losing weight by helping doing sport and preparing healthy food. So this is where you see an example of a secondary actor. Here is an example from Gojko Adzic's book. He's talking about getting 1 million players for a product that he's building. So the players themselves can invite their friends, recommend the product through, and post their experience about the product to increase, these are all the ways that we can get additional players. So this is essentially marketing the product. There can be internal actors. They can organize public relations event, engage in our social network, and there can be advertisers. So these are all the actors. So normally we may think about all these in separate times. We may only think about the players when we're building the product, and these make internal and advertisers may be thought about when we want to go to production. But Impact Map is actually bringing this forward and saying we can do something about this even maybe before, or at least give you the complete view. So you can use that to your advantage when you're getting some feedback back from the internal and advertisers and incorporating those in deciding what to build next or how to tweak the product next. So that's the key idea. Here's another one, reducing customer attrition. We want to reduce customer churn rate down to 5%. A couple of the actors can be a customer service team and the customers themselves. The impacts the behavior change is that the customer service team can go the extra mile or they can resolve the problems faster. And to help with that behavior change, we can deliver a feedback form and live chat. These are some ideas aligned to the impact we want to create through the actors. And if we're focusing on the customer as the actor, then the behavior change may be that they use the product daily or interacts with the community. And then we may be, the deliverable we can provide is that we provide a mechanism to share their thoughts and ideas. Or we create a tips page or something like that. So hopefully this one gives you guys a clear idea. I'll stop here and see if there are any questions.
Zia, there's no questions in the chat.
Okay, cool. So that's good. Hopefully this makes sense. So we are actually a little bit ahead, and that can be a good thing because we have a lot of people in the smaller teams, so they'll get a little bit more time to work on their workshop part of it. So let me explain that one next. So nobody needs a break at this point, right? We can continue.
Silence me, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right. All right. So that means we should be okay with timing then. I was a little bit worried that there may be questions and we may need to have a discussion. That's what I had planned for. I had planned for a 10-minute discussion at this point, but if nobody has questions, then I'll keep going. Okay. So in this part of the workshop, the goal is to create one impact map that helps your business to create something of value, right? So increasing revenue is the easiest one, but hopefully you guys find something different, but still has a business impact. So the website we're going to use is the app.mindmap.com. And if you look at the bottom of that screen, there should be a create a free map, and only one person from your team should be doing this, and other people, and sharing their screen where other people on the team can provide their ideas. So we'll do this in two parts. In the first part, you guys will identify a business objective. So all of you guys on the team can talk about, hey, this is a problem that my business needs to solve. And also talk about why it's important for your organization or business. Then identify the personas. So the people involved, they're also called personas because they often tend to fall into particular categories that you can call them personas. So identify those personas who can make an impact on the business objectives. So once you guys do that, we'll come back and then we'll do a quick check to make sure that everybody has gotten to that point. And then we will continue with the second half, which is to identify how the personas can make an impact towards your business objectives. So in that, you guys will be talking about the required changes in actor behavior. So buying more, maybe doing more self-serve, and those kind of things would be, equally valid because ultimately self-service can have an impact on the business bottom line. And then finally, identify the deliverables that will enable the impact. So if we're talking about self-serve, then our deliverables should be creating something that enables the end users to self-serve themselves. You get the idea, right? So that's where you guys will be identifying the software features, organizational activities. It can be marketing, training, and other things. So software doesn't have to solve 100% of the problem. There can be other activities that are supporting that required impact as well. So when you guys do that in that app, this is how it should look like. You'll start with a business goal and at least identify one persona and work through that. So if you can do more personas and do more of this, then that's great. But at least follow this train of one persona all the way through where you have identified the impacts, which are the change in behavior, and then deliverables, and then maybe even identify some features, user stories, or project, if you will, that can help deliver that solution to the end user. So this is where we can get into the breakout sessions. Take 10 minutes to do steps 1 and 2, and come back, and each team if you guys can share what business objective you've chosen and why, and who your personas are, who your actors are that you're focusing on, and why did you think that those are the right kind of actors. So once we come together and talk about that, then we will continue with the second half, complete the step 3 and 4. You'll get additional 15 minutes to work on those. At this point, we're a little bit ahead, so if you need a little bit more time, we should be good there as well. So yeah, let me stop there, and I'll lift this up. So Pat, if you have been able to create the breakout rooms.
Well, I figured out who belongs where, I think.
Okay.
We have, for the most part, almost nobody has any impact mapping experience. So a large number are beginners.
Okay.
We do have some people with fairly advanced product management. We have a couple of advanced people with respect to the whole idea of mapping. And
Great.
then we have we have about 9-10 people in intermediate. So do you want to mix the beginners with the intermediate, and you want to have like a leader in each area almost, or
Yeah, that'll be good.
a source? Okay, It's going to take me a couple of minutes to do this.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I mean,
we can give the attendees a break, and I'll run the timer. So 5 minutes, Pat,
yeah,
or? Okay.
Yeah, and also send out the survey.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the www.menti.com, and also the event code is 965796 in the chat room. So if you won't be able to attend the workshop, please go ahead, take a few minutes to go to that link and submit your feedback. So basically, we want to know is, how do you feel about this topic, and do you have any topic you prefer to have in the future events, so that will help us to make arrangement for 2021 breakfast meeting. Thank you.
So Martin, let me run the timer for 5 minutes.
Sure.
And once we're back from the break, I'll get back to this slide again so people have the URL and the steps.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Zia. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll be right back as well, Martin.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, yep. Hey Pat, I saw we have probably 32 people still online. So if we have 5 group, we can put maybe 6, 7 people in each group. Hey Zia,
Yes, sir.
so in the chat room, someone suggests, I would like to suggest a common assignment so we can compare, share and compare.
Okay.
Or do you think that's feasible?
Yeah, we can.
You all can give each team there as an option. So if they have a topic, they can assignment they can work on it, or if they don't, then maybe we can give one.
Okay. So give me a minute to see, because
Okay.
when we planned this for March, I actually had the same exercise for everybody. So let me see if I can find that.
Okay, perfect. Then we can use that as an optional
Okay.
for each team.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll be right back. Okay.
Zia,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm almost there. Let's see, it looks like we've got 28 people here now.
Okay.
Let's see, and do you want to be in a room, Zia?
I'll visit them to make sure they're not having any trouble.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Just give me another minute. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Well, a couple of minutes. Sorry about that. Red,
Yes.
you're in breakout room 1,
Okay.
and you have the most experience. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that.
Very good.
I'm almost ready to move everybody, but then Fred. Fred, are you here? Oh, there's Fred.
Yeah, I'm here.
Fred, you're going to be in breakout room 2.
Okay.
And you seem to have the most experience there.
Oh, Lord.
Just fake it, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And then Pranav, you're in breakout 3. And you have the most experience probably in that room. Maybe not, but it looks like you do. And then, so I don't want anybody feeling nervous about this. And then in breakout room 4, let me just see who we have here. Let's see. I think you're all pretty equal on experience. you might talk amongst yourselves and see who could answer the most questions and stuff if you get into a jam. But then
How
see
many teams do we have, Pat?
between
We have
rooms. We've got four.
four. Okay, maybe 4 is fine because I think we have, I saw we had 28 participants.
Yes, I know. So
Okay,
here we
so
go.
maybe, yeah.
So
4.
I opened all of them,
Okay.
and
So Pat or Martin, how can I share a couple documents with all the attendees? Is it through the chat?
I think, or can they look at the screen while they're in there, or they have to come out?
I can do that as well, but since they're going to be in the different breakout rooms, giving them the documents might be helpful so they can just look at it.
Yes. I know. What do you think, Martin? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can attach.
The host can do it, so I can email it to you guys.
Do you want me to make you those?
Okay, let's do that. Yep.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's see. I think I can do that. One sec.
I see the number goes down. We have 12 participants in the main room, so that's a lot of people they are going to.
Yeah, people are joining.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
why.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me just.
Oh, Heather is dropping because her audio isn't working still.
That's fine. Yes, I think she's using her phone.
Okay.
No worry.
Okay. Let's see. Just a second. I have to get this. I'm going to close this and then.
Okay. That's fine. I think we have enough time since we may be able to end the meeting early.
Okay, you're the host, Zia.
Okay.
Now you should be the host. Yes, you are. You're the host.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll get everybody assigned to the breakout room. What can I hear you? Okay.
Oh, how long on those rooms? Do I have to set a timer? Oh, I can't do it because I'm not the host.
Zia is the host.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll have to set. Well, can you set a time on the rooms, or we can just leave them like that?
we can leave them like that for now. We can ask them to come back.
All right.
But I'm not seeing an option to share the document.
Yeah, I still have share screen. Let's see.
Advanced sharing option. Okay. Nope.
Because everybody should be able to share, I think. Oh, well, you ought to be able to share.
Let me see if I can do a quick search.
Okay, do we need to move like Satish and Srini? Pranav is in room 3.
Yep.
Or maybe they just haven't moved yet.
They haven't accepted have you sent the invite to him?
Well, I can't look now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see, Srini, I guess just Satish has a lot of product management experience.
Okay.
So we should move him somewhere if he's not already in a room. And then Srini is beginner, and Ravi Kumar, beginner, and Vicky is a beginner. And Pranav should be in room 3.
Okay.
So Martin, it looks like the file sharing is maybe turned off and admin will have to turn it on. So let me
Okay,
email.
I'll go do that. Oh, can I
Oh,
do
you
that?
want to do that? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
can-
I should be able to, right? Since it's
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's try. This is new to us, but if we can make this work, it will really help us to do.
Okay, just 1 second.
And
Let me
let me send you the steps, Pat. I just looked them up. So
No, that's not.
I sent you the URL, Pat.
Okay, just a minute.
And I'll send you the files, Martin, just in case. So
Okay.
if we can't get this going quickly, then you at least have everybody's email that you can send it to them via email, right?
Yes, I can do that. So so you send it to my email, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just have to go into my account. Yeah, account settings right here.
Yeah.
In meeting file transfer, is that what that is?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, email that to me.
Yep. Yep.
Let me see, I can send that out
Right.
in a few more minutes. Yeah.
Okay, I sent it to you, Martin.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, so I need to just, let's see, in meeting, file transfer. Is it file transfer? No.
Yes.
Screen sharing. Who can start sharing? Let's see, who can share? All participants I have enabled. Who can start sharing when somebody else is sharing, the host?
It's the in-meeting file transfer, Pat.
In meeting file transfer?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's turned on. Hosts and participants can send files through the in-meeting chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been on.
Oh, okay.
The right one?
Yeah, so I didn't
So,
see an option though to send files.
um,
Try that again.
well, let me look at in-meeting advanced. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to. See, I only have this rudimentary screen share here now.
No problem. So Martin, you can send it out, right?
Yeah, I'm sending out right now.
Okay.
So,
Okay, perfect.
Once you did that, I will go over the same thing so everybody can see it on
Sorry
here.
about that.
1 second.
No problem.
Go back to my-
We should have practiced that too. I didn't even think about it.
Okay, I found it. So I should be able to share here as well. But it doesn't allow to share from my desktop though. It's only Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive, or Box. Okay, let me try this.
I should be able to send this out in 30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm close to being able to share the file. Let me see.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, I just sent
You did,
to
okay.
all the 63 attendees, even
Cool.
though there are people do not send, but I sent.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I'll share the same thing on my screen here. That way,
Okay. So I will go to the break room, see where I can help the team.
we can actually probably end the breakout rooms. Yeah, we can close all the rooms. That way everybody will be back in the main session and then we can start. Or we can broadcast message to everybody to come back to the main room. What do you guys want to do?
Let's do the broadcast, and
Broadcast,
then
okay.
yeah, then we
Okay.
can go to each room to remind them. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I just broadcasted to everybody.
Okay.
If within a minute or so nobody is coming back, then we can close the room and continue from there. People are coming back, right?
Let me see.
Yep.
Some number increase. Yep.
Okay, so let me go back to sharing. Okay, let me know when I can continue.
Okay.
I see 17 people so far.
Yeah, 18 people. And who's the host now? Is you or Pat?
I might still be the host, but I can transfer it to Pat or you.
Yeah, let's give that to Pat and she can go to each break room and
Okay.
be able to return. I will go to the break.
Okay. That should now be the host. Okay, you guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
And I'm seeing 18 participants in the main room. So
Yeah, I can see the screen. Yeah.
okay. So people are still in the breakout rooms.
Breakout room 2 is empty. So we can check 1, 3, and 4. Okay, we'll get one more people return. We'll have 19.
Let me join some of the breakout rooms and tell them to return in. Or if they already have something that they're working on, then we can let them continue. Right?
Yeah, I say Zoom, breakout room 2 is empty. We can check 1, 3, and 4. I see you're on mute, Pat.
Room 1 is doing fine, so I let them continue with what they have.
Okay.
So I guess whoever is here, we cover the common assignment for them. Everybody else should be fine, I guess.
So we're just waiting for the breakout room 1. Is that right?
No, one is they're doing their own thing and they're making good progress. So I didn't want to interrupt them.
Okay.
Okay, so for everybody else that wants to do a common assignment, let me share my screen again. Real quickly, the 2 documents that Martin sent you guys, one is a cheat sheet that should help you with deciding what to do for each of these steps: goal, actors, stakeholders, and then impacts. It has the questions and what to do. And then the deliverables with a small example on the whole map. So that's one. The other document, that's the common assignment. Let me go to that one. 1 second. Okay. Okay, so this is from Gojko Adzic himself. So this is, a company's name is Concerts Online. That's the name of the company. So they run a website for music lovers, earn money from selling tickets to concerts and Google Ads. Let me know if you guys have any questions at any time, otherwise I'll keep going. It's pretty straightforward. So these are their details. They have 20 million users all over Europe. 60% of the users are 15 to 25 years old. 30% users are 25 to 35 years old. Their profit, 60% comes from ticket sales, 30% from Google Ads, 10% from selling merchandise, t-shirts, DVDs, and so on and so forth. Their most popular pages are about the artists, that's 50%. Location pages are the next popular pages at 30%, and forums 20%. This is the ask from the customers. They want an iPhone app. So if you guys talk about that, what kind of an app to build, then talk about why your plan is the best. The behavior changes you should be looking for is start doing something, stop doing something, or do something differently. So this is the goal. We're getting a lot of customers from mobile phone browsers, and they aren't staying long. We want to offer at least basic functionality to them to show more ads. When the customers stay longer, we can show them more ads and we can increase revenue from those Google ads. So some other additional ideas on the deliverables. If you guys come up with a big deliverable, to break it down into smaller, should we do it by particular location or with a particular need? And instead of 20%, maybe only 2% faster. So set smaller goals if you have to. And another goal is to reduce the load on our call center. Lots of people buy discounted tickets through us when ticket sales start, and they don't have a good internet connection or computer. So how can we reduce? So that creates problems, and they end up calling the call center. So due to bad internet or no online, what are the other things we can do? So that's another thing. This is another idea. People are buying silly stuff on App Store, and we have a good brand and loyal customers, so we can earn some cash by selling them an app. So 3 ideas so far. So pick one or your own based on this, but ultimately it should generate a business impact for this business. So you should have received this deck from Martin as well. These smaller font things are the business ideas or business needs. So 3 of them are there. You can come up with your own if you want to, but at least solve for one of them. Sound good? All right. So now we can start the timer. If you guys can do step 1 and 2, decide on which one you're going to do and decide on who your personas are, the users, stakeholders that you think will create an impact towards your business goal. Let's come back and do a checkpoint at that point, and then we continue with steps 3 and 4 after that. So we might want to do this in 10 minutes if that's okay with you guys. Okay. All right. So I'll stop sharing this one since you guys have it, and I'll display the timer.
Are we going to get put back into our breakout rooms?
Yes. So you guys can join. The breakout rooms should still be there, right? So you guys can join those again.
For me, it just has the leave option.
Oh, okay. So, Pat, you may have to re-enable the breakout rooms.
Hey, you're on mute.
Fred, what room were you in?
2.
So, okay. And Maria, what room were you in?
I was in 3.
3. Okay. Vicky, you were in. Vicky. Okay. Is there anybody else without a room?
Pete's in 2, please.
This is Bill. I need to go back to room 3.
Now, you look like you're in 2, right? Do I have to move you there like this?
I think we just need to know how to get there.
Yeah, let's see. Can I re-enable them?
Yes.
How do I do that? Just by turning them green?
Yep.
No, can I do that? I see how to move people, but
Down at the bottom of everybody's screen, where all the buttons are, participants, chat, share screen,
Yeah.
record, breakout rooms, you should be able to hit breakout rooms, and the room
yeah,
you've already been assigned to, you can rejoin.
okay, how do you rejoin them?
When you hit breakout rooms down at the bottom, it brings a pop-up window, says you've been assigned already, and it'll have your breakout room number. And
Yep.
then there's a button that says
Oh.
join breakout room.
Okay, so people will have to do that themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Oh,
As long
okay,
as the
got it.
rules are there,
How
yeah.
about you, Vicky? Do you know what room you were in? Vicky doesn't have her room. I'll assign Vicky.
I don't think I was in a room, but that's okay.
All right, let's put you in a room. Okay, I'm gonna put you in room 4.
Martin, I'll send you the PDF from today's session as well, so you can send that out too.
Okay. Yeah. Please do.
Okay.
And yeah, you haven't sent the PDF to me yet, right? Have you?
I'm doing that right now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
Yes. There's some, for some weird reason, there is a 07/11/2020 showing up at the top of all the slides, but it's not gonna affect anything. So I'll send it to you like that.
Okay.
0711. Maybe that's just the name of the meeting. Oh,
Yeah, it's today's date basically.
Yeah. This is the day. So we help to promote their store.
yeah, but today is 7/11.
I know. That's why
Yeah.
we are helping. We do the marketing
Yeah.
campaign for them. They should give a free gift card or something.
Okay, everybody is in their room, right? So
Except for Pranav and Srini, unless they're not here anymore.
so Srini and Pranav, are you guys able to join a breakout room?
So I can put them in there, but I don't know if they're there. Yeah.
And Pat, if you can add me to the other breakout rooms as well. I'm only in one. If you can
You're
add
only
me to
in
the
one.
other ones, I'll rotate and make sure that, they don't have any questions.
Okay, I have you in 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
join that one.
I think I can only join you in one place at a time, right?
Not sure. I was able to rotate through different breakout rooms before, but maybe
Oh,
because I
that's
was a
because
co-host or something.
host. Do you want no, you were the host. Do you want to be the host again so you can move yourself?
Yeah, let's do
That'd
that.
be
Yeah.
easier for you.
Okay.
Let's see.
And Srini has now joined or dropped, so we should be okay.
Let's see, 1 second. I just have to figure out a way to get to where you are.
And let me join breakout room for now, and I'll come back.
Okay.
Here, I'm making, all right, you're a host now. Now you're the host. Hey, Martin.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sending the deck to everybody now. So
Okay. And you saw the code, right?
yeah, I will share with the team after
What do
they.
you, what do you think we should do? Should we just go with everybody for the 2 hours, or should we just take the 28 for the 2 hours?
Yeah, actually the rule is that we can only give the PDU to the people attend the meeting, right? So
Right.
if we have the list of the people actually attend this, I think we have 40 today.
We had 28 in the rooms.
Yeah, but
Plus,
earlier section we have 40.
Yeah,
people.
so 31 total, including all of us. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My opinion is that we can either we have to split, only give one. We have to figure out who attend.
I know who. I have a list.
Okay, yeah, because people attend the first section, they can get 1 PDU, but people stay on the second section can get additional 1 PDU, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. So the code that I gave you is for the 2 hours. I can give you another one for 1 hour.
Yeah. Do you think that's a better approach?
I don't know. I mean, because people were, it really kind of started during the first hour.
Yeah. If it's okay with you, I'm okay with just giving 1 code, then everybody get 2 BTU if they attend the first section, regardless if attend the second or not. That's just my opinion.
Because I mean, everybody answered,
Yeah.
Not everybody was, well, most people who answered are the ones who, yeah, that's the way it went. People who answered, yes or no and immediate or whatever, they're the ones who stayed. And I have all of their names.
Right. Okay. So you think I can give that code to everybody? So if they want
we can give them to them, I guess, and I guess on the others we can give them 1. I can just let me make another one.
Okay.
I can make another code if you think that would be the best thing. Some people listened to the beginning and then they left.
Yeah, but the problem is that we need to have, so you have the list of the attendee for this first section, and also you have a list of the attendee for the second line.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you send that to me, I will have 2 separate email out. Yeah, maybe we do not need to.
Are we reporting for them? Are we reporting for them?
I think that should be the way, right? Because
yeah, I think that's what we told them.
Yeah, then they don't have to manually do it. But if we still can send the code to them. If they prefer to manually, they can do it. But eventually, if we can do that, just like in the past, let's just do that for them. I think they will appreciate it.
All right, so I'll do the first hour. You want me to get a first hour code too?
Yeah, just give me.
I'll
don't
do
have
that
to be
right
now. Yeah, you can do later.
I'll just do it now so I don't forget.
Okay.
So all the teams 1, 2, and 3 are doing okay. I'm gonna check on 4, and we have 4 teams or 5?
4.
4. Okay, so that will be the last one. I asked everybody to come back soon, so within a couple minutes.
Okay.
That can do a quick checkpoint and then move into 3 and 4.
Sounds good.
And as they hear from each other, they'll get better ideas as well.
Yeah, agree.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
All righty.
Oh, that's weird.
Actually working ahead on three and 4. So I don't know, should we close the room so everybody's back, and can we reopen the rooms? I've not handled that part myself, so I'm not sure if I
Close
close.
and reopen?
Is that okay to do?
I don't know, let's see.
Let me make you the host, Pat, so you can do that.
Okay, and so tell me what you think. What
So
do
we
they?
need everybody to come back to the main session, share their board so far, their impact map, and then we let them continue and come back and we close it off.
Okay, so if they come back, then we'll have to put them back in, right? And so, but when they're in the main area, they can have their spokesperson talk.
Yes, right,
Okay.
right. Yep. So I'm making you the host. So if you think we can close the room to bring everybody back and then restart the room again, that might be the quickest way.
Okay, so you want them to share something? Please come back
Yes.
to main room to share your progress.
Yep.
I just broadcast a message to them.
Yeah, it's showing up at the top. So
Okay.
everybody should be seeing it.
Well, they're coming back.
Martin, you got the file, the PDF, right?
Yes, I got and
Okay,
sending out to everybody
Great.
now. Yeah. But they also included the people did not attend today, but I think they still be able to benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they can use that at their work.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your contact information on the slide, right? So they can.
Yes.
You have okay. Awesome.
We're back.
Okay.
So Scott, it sounded like you could use impact mapping when you were doing your discovery part. You know, you said you were doing emergent requirements. That's a perfect place for it.
Yeah, I was just saying an immersion into current state and everything that they have. So, and it's for a life sciences client with validation and everything. So there's a lot of unique elements to it. So
If it were easy, you wouldn't be doing it. That's why we brought you on board.
yeah.
All right. So sounds like you guys are ready to share. So as soon as everybody else is back, maybe share your progress so far, and then we continue from there.
Okay.
So the key idea is to learn from each other. That way, you know, when you guys go back to your breakout sessions again, then you can improve what you're doing right now.
Nice.
Cool. So Pat, I think closing the breakout rooms may be the quickest way to bring everybody back. So far we have 22 people that are here.
That aren't paying attention.
That little blue message at the top is not very prominent.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm the one who issues it, but I can't see it. So
Yeah, you cannot see it. Yeah, only.
Yeah, maybe you just have to pop into each room and say, come on.
Yeah, it says all breakout rooms will close in 33 seconds. Okay.
There you go.
That's
That'll
down
get
at
them.
the bottom.
That'll do it.
And then you can figure out how to restart them, because as soon as they're done sharing, they'll go back in the breakout room to complete the
I can figure out how to restart them. Okay. Let's see. No, they can allow
They
themselves.
can join, right? The rooms are
Yeah.
still there. They can join. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to know. Cool. Okay, so which team wants to go first? Who's ready to share?
Number 2, Ken.
Okay.
And
Go
number
ahead,
3,
sir.
Ken.
Okay, great. So number 2 first, and then 3, and then whenever 1 and 4 are ready, we'll let them go. So team 2.
4 is ready as well.
Okay.
I'm trying to share our Miro product here.
Okay.
There we go. Can everybody see?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So we had good participation and leadership, and for the problem statement as a goal, we stated selling more tickets and extending the stay from the standpoint of what we're trying to accomplish. And through the process of the conversation and the problem statement, it was decided that we look at breaking down the counterpart involvement as the business side, kind of on the left-hand side as you look at it with the business and the developers. And then on the right-hand side with the ecosystem, if you will, from a user or participant stakeholder standpoint, with the artists, advertisers, and new and existing customers.
Okay, do you guys expect the new and existing customers will have same kind of impact, or is it going to be different?
I don't know if we've made that determination.
Okay.
Yeah, I would keep it at that thus far.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. So you guys have some thoughts on moving on to identifying the change in behavior and the deliverables next, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's hear from the other teams, and then we'll continue on that path.
Sounds good.
Cool, thank you, sir. So that was team 2, right? So team 3 next. You should be able to share your screen. Okay. We can see your screen, but you may be muted. Are you speaking, Marta?
Yes, now I am.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
So business goal, increase ticket sales. We have here at the top, we have the two personas that are the customers, age group 16, 25 and 26, 35. And then we have digital marketing team and marketing promotion manager. These are one team, one person as personas. And one of my colleagues suggested coupon codes. So we did this as a team. Others, if you want to add to this, then please do.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys have moved ahead from the persona and talked about impact and delivery as well. So awesome. Anybody else want to ask questions to the team or provide any suggestions? Feel free.
All right, thank you. I will stop sharing then.
Okay, let's go to team 1 or 4. You guys ready?
This is team 4, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead, Sheila.
Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am, we can see it.
Because I think you said we went a little further than we needed to, but we were planning for the business goal of reducing the load on the call center. And the personas would be the customer service representatives that are taking the calls and then the customers. And we started planning for on the customer service side what we can do to make an impact. So reduce the number of calls and increase the self-service, from the customer's perspective. And reducing the number of calls would be related to targeting sales at non-peak times and implementing ticket selling partnerships where tickets could be sold through other partners and not necessarily have to go through our customer service representatives. And then we got as far as we're targeting the sales at non-peak times to time box the ticket sales at specific times and to have communication to the customer as means to implement that.
Cool. All right. Looks good. So the key thing I would call out that I was going to call out towards the end of the session, but since you guys moved ahead, so I'll call this out now, is think about how you're going to measure and validate, because each of the connections are assumptions, right? So think about measurements, what to measure, how to measure, when to measure, and those kind of things. So team 1, you guys ready?
Hey, Scott, you got the cute little mind map thing. You want to try that? And you're muted.
Yeah, sure. I'll pop it up there right now. And then you could probably best to talk us through it, Red. So share screen. Screen 2. Share. You guys see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Red.
And you found a way to color it.
Yeah.
So we had a real world example of some folks working in data security. And so it was, how can we ensure data security in the world? And we've identified all kinds of actors in the system, application managers, project managers, TISOs, which are the technical information security folks, and upper management. It's like, okay, who's more likely to influence whether or not we're going to get data security? So we've focused on the application manager. So what do they need to do? So one, they need to communicate some changes in data classifications, and they also need to identify security gaps and mitigation strategies. And so, okay, let's take just the identify gaps and manage. So what can we do there? Well, let's go really blue sky here. Let's give them an app on their mobile device that allows them to work through some sort of wizard that allows them to identify the gaps in their system. Great. Once they've identified the gaps, what's the other thing that would happen is that the system would automatically upload this information to some sort of tracking system and also a workflow management system like Jira. And that way it's not only discovering the security issues, but through the application that we're going to create, but also disseminate that information out to a tracker system and also a workflow management system. So that's just one of the things we worked on.
Yeah, so it looks great. But since you guys have, moved ahead so much and completed it almost complete, if you look at the center of it, so I'm going to give you guys a challenge question to think about.
Oh, great.
So what are some of the things that you guys can measure, preferably leading indicator that will tell you that you are making progress towards your business objective? So when we come back, maybe give that some thought and share with the rest of the class. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds
cool.
good.
All right. So Pat, we can let everybody go back to their breakout rooms again and finish it off. And we are at 11:09, so we have 21 minutes. So maybe let's give everybody 11 minutes and we come back and wrap it up in the next, last 10 minutes.
Okay, and I think everybody can join themselves, right?
Right.
Is that what we did the last time? Okay, I opened the room, so you can go back.
Cool. So yeah, at 11:20, we'll bring everybody back and we'll wrap it up. So we only have Vicky. Not sure if she's not able to join back or.
Let's see, she dropped and came back a couple of times. Let me take a look. Martin, oh, Vicky. Okay. Vicky? She was in, where was she? She was in breakout room 4.
Okay, I think you can move her to breakout room 4.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it looks like in the latest update, they changed some of this because I used to be able to move people around. Now I can move her to any place except where she is assigned.
Oh.
So, you see, I can't move her. I can't move her into.
Okay, yeah. Now
Oh,
she
there
went.
she is.
Yeah.
She's in. Okay, cool. Okay, that's good.
So Martin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so what's your thought? Everything going okay so far? Pat, everything going okay so far? Do we need to change anything?
No, I think it's good. I was afraid to goof it up for you.
No, you're doing great. You guys have been pretty big help. Keeping, this is the common challenge I see in remote settings. People work ahead and we don't know until we go
Yeah,
and
I
see.
know. Right.
But I think
We've been doing run-throughs, but some of the things you don't think to ask about. So I will remember to ask people now if they have things to share and all of that.
Yeah, yep, you bet. Yeah, in a room, we can see if people are working ahead. We can go and, stand by them and hear their conversation.
Right.
But here, unless you're circling through the breakout rooms, you won't know what's going on.
yeah, I think the slide and the example you provide is really helping to understand how to do this process. And also the tool is very easy to use actually. I haven't used that before, but it's very easy to figure out how to get the context there. So that really helped.
Yeah, and the other thing I did yesterday, I spent some time simplifying the deck because I had more things for product managers on, why companies have to innovate, otherwise they fall behind. But I kind of chunked that out because it was going to be a tangential discussion to the mind map, or the impact map. But if anybody was going to ask questions, why is this important, and that kind of thing, then I could have easily brought it up because I have those slides still. So
I was a product manager for years at American Airlines, and I taught network services how to work in a product management kind of way versus
nice.
direct report type of thing. And the directors didn't like it. They didn't want the product team telling them what to do.
So now things have changed, and I was actually coaching them in product management as well. They hired me as a trainer, yeah. But I joined as a contractor, and now they're out of money. So my contract is ending on August 3rd.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, so I'll hopefully find something soon with, Wells Fargo or some other Fidelity. Those companies are still hiring, so we'll see. But yeah, if you guys see any,
they want project managers.
yeah. If you guys see any safe trainer or agile coach role, please let me know.
Yeah, so Zia, when I send the deck out to everybody, I'll copy you on that email so they make it easier for them to reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Okay, 6 more minutes. So if you guys need to take a break, feel free.
I'll finish doing that.
Okay.
That code. For the,
So yeah, do you know what's another topic relate to today's topic that people may be interested?
So the big thing at American and many other organizations right now is objectives and key results. It's very similar to impact mapping as well, but it's more of strategy planning and execution.
Got it. Okay.
And companies that are moving to OKRs, they will find more benefit out of it, because just like the impact mapping, some parts of it can be a little bit counterintuitive because you're planning in a reverse way based on hypotheses and other things. Because most of us were used to talking about concrete deliverables, right? Rather than starting with user need and all of that, and then hypothesizing. So OKRs start with strategy, and then the rest of it is similar to impact mapping, close to it. So I did a workshop for them for American Airlines in April and May as well.
Oh,
what
really?
did you say they're using now?
Objectives and key results, OKRs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the biggest thing for them right now, because even their funding is the OKR is actually part of the funding, product funding model. So in the project-based funding model, they were actually getting funding for features or epics and stuff like that, or projects. But now they're getting funding for meeting an objective or a business goal. So they have to do this kind of impact mapping kind of exercise to figure out what are the right things to actually get to that business objective.
Well, they've changed a lot. You used to have, and even with project management, you really had to coax them to make them, go along with it. A lot of times on the different accounts, it was, we had a few accounts that required it, but for the most part, they did, if you were the director, you got to say what happened.
Right. Yeah, and that I imagine is still probably the case, even though I haven't heard it publicly yet. But the directors are the portfolio managers. They call it funding unit manager.
Oh, okay.
And, they probably end up prioritizing what's getting built. But
Yes, I think they do. I
Mhm.
really think
So Pat, the PDU code you send end with SQL, that's for the 2 hour, right?
that's right. I'm doing the 1 hour right now
Okay, that's
as
right.
we
Yeah.
speak.
So actually, I'm going to send this code in the chat room.
You are? You're going to give that to people now?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
you're going to let them do their own?
no, what I would say is that, I mean, we say the chapter will, submit the request for them. But if you want to do manually, you can use
Oh,
this code to do it. I think most
that's
people, will not do manually, but I will give them this code as well in case this is needed.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's, and I'll give you the, well, I'll be able to give you the other one in a minute. And what are you going to do with that? Are you going to send it to the people or you're
Yeah.
just going to assign them?
I'm going to email that code to those people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you do have a list of the people only attend this first section, right? Do you?
Well, I think I could deduce it, put it that way.
Okay. So we can do later. Don't have to be today. That can come.
Yeah, I won't do it today though, because
Okay.
I've got schoolwork to do. I need to
Okay. Yeah.
grade.
So one more minute, Pat, and then let's bring everybody back, hear from them. And if you guys want to ask for any feedback, suggestions, we can do that as well.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
Okay, I just sent it to you, Martin.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Do you want me to close the rooms yet or?
One more minute, yeah, and then you can close it.
Okay.
That will give us 10 minutes to wrap up.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for doing this.
Yes,
Appreciate
ma'am.
it.
Not a problem.
How was the class last Saturday? Yeah.
Oh, I finished on June 27th, so it's been 2 Saturdays, but yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
finished
Cool.
in a pretty good shape. So
Awesome. Good.
when people joined, they didn't have a lot of Agile or safe experience, but there was one person that did some intermediate coaching for them. So they caught up, and then session 2 and 3, I was able to move at normal speed again.
Nice. How many people attend?
It was 25 people. That's the max for one SPC to
Wonderful.
have in a class.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, they should be coming back now. Yeah, here we go.
Cool. We have 10 people back.
See that breakout room 3, they're all still in there. And, well, let's see. All right, everybody ought to be back.
Yep, we have 25. Is everybody back, Pat?
I think so. Let's see. Yeah, about 25. We got, so there's almost 3 people left.
Okay.
Let's
So we
see,
can,
just a minute.
okay.
Yeah, that's about, most people, yes, I would say are back. There's 25.
So we can continue then, right?
Yes, I would. I'd go ahead.
Okay, so all right, teams, if you guys can share your progress since we talked last time. And this time, if you guys can talk about your measurements, that might help. and any insight that you guys have where you may be able to use this at your own workplace or business. That's the two things: measurement and how you can use it at work. So one of the teams, you guys have already done it. You don't have to answer that one, but for everybody else, talk about these two things. Go ahead. This is team 2, right?
Hey, Pat, are you on?
Yes.
Yeah, can you, I fell behind in gathering the data points. Can you speak to the conversation we were having?
Oh, you mean Pete?
You mean Pete?
Or Pete, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say I have no idea what.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'll try. And then I invite all of our team members to jump in there as well. So the first thing we did was separate existing users from prospective users and bifurcated our market that way. And what we set as a baseline for the existing users is we know how long you're on the platform today, and we know your purchase rate, we know who you are and what you do. And so the goal there is to try to get you to stay longer and buy more stuff. And so what we thought was the first thing we would do is say to our artists is that we want you to create more compelling content that will encourage our users to stay there longer because it's interesting. With the longer stay, more ads can be presented, plus they will, if they're liking what they're seeing, they'll be more inclined in order to purchase tickets to your show, buy your album or such. So the measurement that we would use for that is because we already know how long you're staying on the platform. Say simply, did you stay longer? And did the relative purchase per person or per session go up?
Right.
On the prospective side, we said, you don't even know who we are. So we have to come up with a means to first inform that we're out there and create a compelling mechanism for you to come visit us. We need to do that through compelling content, but we also need to create an enticement to encourage you to come. So we'll create a couple of campaigns to do that. We can then measure the success rate of each campaign. And what's most important there is that we also want to measure the conversion rate of people that come in to see are they actually becoming customers. So we then said, when you become a new customer, so did we convert you? We then want to offer you a questionnaire, for lack of a better term, to tell us who you are, what your interests are, what your music tastes are, so that we can curate that and then start feeding you content that's interesting to you, which then feeds into the other thing that we talked about, feeding you now compelling content. The last thing that we talked about, and this may not serve our advertisers, but it would help us as a business, is that we also wanted to present an ad-free subscription model to the community. And then, like everything else that we said, we know we're starting from zero. We can create campaigns around that, and then we can measure the take rate.
So what would be the behavior change associated with the ad-free? What's the hypothesis there that you guys talked about?
We didn't really get too far into that, but I think what the behavior change would be is we would really hope and rely on our artists to be creating that compelling content that you, the user, would say, hey, I just like going there. I may not buy every concert, I may not buy every album, but I find the content compelling enough and enjoyable enough to just simply spend time on the platform.
Okay. Yeah, you guys talked about all the right measurements, so happy to hear that. Any thoughts about how you guys can take this back to your work and apply it there?
You know, I think it was a good exercise that forces you to reverse your thinking. Because so often, and I think somebody put this in the chat earlier, everybody likes to get right to the solution, right to the what are we going to do, when we really need to spend more time up front to say, what are we trying to accomplish?
Right.
And whenever, and at least in my industries, in my experience, people will say, well, Pete, everybody knows what we're trying to accomplish. And then when I say, then why don't you tell me? You find out that understanding is not universal, and that you then have a good, healthy debate around what the problem is.
Yep, you nailed it. That's exactly what this is there for, to resolve that common understanding. So very, very happy to hear that from you, Pete.
And I will say, I thought the tool was pretty cool as well.
Awesome. All right, so which team wants to go next?
This is for, I can go.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. So we were.
Yeah, so please talk about your measurements and anything you can apply back at your work also as you're talking through this.
Okay, so the measurements that we came up with, again, our business goal was to reduce load on the call center, was to measure how, when.
Are you
when
sharing,
and how.
Sheila?
Sorry?
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought so.
Okay, yep, now we can see it.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Measure when and how many sales are occurring. So in other words, we were looking for them to be at off-peak times. Measure the volume and the cost of tickets that are sold to the partners that are involved in selling tickets for us. Measure time spent by customer service representatives to complete ticket sales. And measuring actual sales via IVR against the projections.
Yeah, looks good. Anything that you can think of as a leading indicator, because some of these will be after the fact, right? Anything that you can measure?
Well, I guess in terms of the IVR, where we do mention the projections, this is, in our mind, this was something that was new. We don't currently have this, so we would try to project based on the dialogue that happens in the IVR, walking somebody through the sales process without the help of a customer service representative.
Okay, cool.
Or like with optimizing the CSR selling app, where maybe there used to be 20 screens or something, we try to reduce the screens to 10 or whatever.
Right. So is this from you guys' own work experience, or can you take this back to work and apply it?
And we had a quick discussion, and my comment was, oh, I know it's going to be an uphill battle. I think so. I mean, I definitely do think so. I think even in terms of project selection, some of this would be handy because, in my opinion, some of the projects and initiatives we take on don't have any real genuine thought around business goals. And
right.
What we
I liked, sorry, Sheila.
Oh, that's good. No, good.
I like, she's right. We talked about this, and Harshad said, so you don't really have to make it a hard sell between you do it A way or you do it B way. This can be an additional tool when there is, confusion, like Sheila says, or you're having to ask too many questions just to get stuff developed. Use this as an additional way to fine tune some of that. So I like that too, not as a, it doesn't have to be one way or the other. It can be an additional help.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, if you can create alignment on the business goal, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. So anything additional is a plus.
Well, I guess in your experience, when you're collaborating and brainstorming something like this, you probably have representatives from each of the different actors groups,
Yeah.
right? As well as, yeah, I mean, it could be any sort of group. And I know that's where I see maybe really having to do a bit of a sales, getting people to sit down at a desk or on a Zoom call beforehand and draft something like this out. But I think it's really compelling, you know.
Right.
It's a
Right.
nice exercise.
Yeah, it will be time well spent, but yeah, you might have to struggle at first to get those people because they might be like, you know, why do I need to be in this conversation?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Thank
Anything else you guys want to add?
So one thing I want to share with the team is that if you are part of the portfolio planning, portfolio management, this is a very good tool and process to help the business to fresh out what they're in their mind, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to do a quick time check. We are 2 minutes over, so let's hear from team 3 and 4. Guessing, so we heard from team 2, and which other team? Sheila, your team was 4?
Yes, we were 4.
Okay.
So we
All
are
right.
number 3.
3, okay.
We added a few more things here. I'd like to ask my colleagues to jump in on the nodes they suggested we add. So for example, on metrics, I think it was Das, let me see. So for each one of these activities we add, we can attach metrics, right? So we didn't get to writing all of these. Of course, some of them will be more important. We'll want to spend more time on them.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm seeing, you guys have the right metrics and thoughts there. So let's talk about if you guys will be able to take this back to your work and apply it there as well. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Definitely can use it. I mean, it's a yes and using it to help in certain situations. And it's kind of interesting, this kind of, some of this thinking process here overlaps with design thinking, human-centered design. So definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I had to shorten the deck, but this is in the same class of other options as story mapping, design thinking, jobs to be done, and even parts of OKR, objectives and key results will overlap with this as well. So all of those are geared towards making people think through what is it that we need to build to meet the customer's unmet need and also to help the business's bottom line. Cool. Anything else? Anybody else want to ask?
Is it possible, Zia, you said you had a full deck. Would it be possible to get your full deck as well?
It's not really a full deck, but it's a very detailed step. So it's a separate deck I created. Yes, I can send that to you guys as well. So you can use that with your teams.
I would love that. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. I'll send it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
This was fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Really,
very good.
I really love the interface of this thing. It's good for brainstorming new ideas and new requirements. And everybody can see it right away. It looks really good too.
Cool. We have one team remaining, right? So if you guys can stay a few minutes more, let's hear from them as well.
Yep.
Last but not the least.
Yep.
And they had a challenge question as well. So let's see if they have an answer to that.
Yeah, so the challenge question, and I'll start it and team, you could jump in. Challenge question was what are the leading indicators for what we talked about? And we kind of started by looking at the what's, and we were trying to put leading indicators there, and we ended up kind of bringing ourselves back a level, thinking about the goal. And we had some ideas. We were seeing an evidence of increased communication and information sharing across the teams. And we're seeing the actions where they're actually more proactively updating the systems rather than letting them be too far behind. And then obviously along with that, more JIRA tickets and then systems being in sync. And some of those kind of could be leading, could be lagging, but that was our thoughts. Guys, you can add or correct if I misstated, please.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good start. And you may see increase in Jira tickets as the leading indicator when you're starting, but over time, as you guys have made progress, maybe the drop in Jira tickets would be the leading indicator at that point.
Good point. Yeah.
In our case, it probably would have been good to come up with the overall metric for the highest level item. We say to ensure security. Well, how do you measure security? Is it the number of breach? Whatever that is. So that may be something to put into our little toolbox is when you have that thing at the very top, what's the metric? Be it leading or lagging? What is that metric that says it's getting better, it's not getting better? And then that will help inform you as you go further down the chain.
Okay, so it looks like it is already addressing somebody's business problems. Are you guys going to take it back to work and apply it?
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome.
that is a work in progress.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Hey, Zia, I have a question, please. If you end up having lots of nodes and volume of information, how do you actually use this at work? Assuming you have to manage the entirety of it.
Yeah, so Gojko Adzic, the author of the book, he recommends not to even try to implement the whole map at once. Either use one of the shortest path with the highest impact that you expect, or you follow a milestone kind of an approach. So you can validate if you're reaching that milestone before you decide if you need to do the same thing more of the same thing, or if you need to pivot.
What happens if you have a large program and you have teams and you have lots of deliverables and OKRs? How do you visually share that?
Okay, so let me share something quickly and apologize for you guys having to stay over, but Martin has already sent you guys the deck, so I'm going to share something quickly. It is the last slide in the deck, so let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Yep.
Yes.
See the PowerPoint.
So basically, you have to operate within these two factors, consequences of being wrong and the ability to make investments. So this is where the stakeholders agree on what to invest in, right? So four different contexts come out of that. If you have good ability to make investments and small consequence of being wrong, then the idea is that you iterate over your solution. So you do a little bit, evaluate that, and then do more of it. If you have poor ability to decide on investment, this is your stakeholders not agreeing on what the right thing to build is. That would be a case for poor ability to decide on investment. But the consequence of being wrong is small. Then the first thing you should do is align on those goals. Start with those goals to across the different stakeholders, and then try to deliver something. And then the other one is good ability to make investments. All your stakeholders are aligned, but the consequence of being wrong is serious. Then you want to do some experimentation and then figure out what the right thing to build is.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
And if you have poor ability to make investment, again, your stakeholders are at different places. And serious consequence of being wrong, this is the worst case scenario possibly, right? So you want to discover before you move on. So that's just, general guideline, but large program would be in one of these two, I would imagine, where you would have to do some experimentation and discovery before you actually build something. Hope that helps. But yeah, if you guys have other questions, you can email me or we can, chat offline as well.
Is your email address in the deck?
It's not, but let me type it in here in the chat so you guys have it.
Yeah, I'll also include Zia's email when I sent the deck out earlier. So you will have his email in your inbox.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All righty. You
Right,
guys
and
have a
I'm
good
putting the
day.
Menti code on the chat, so if you can provide feedback on the second session.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. Yeah.
Cool.
And also, I sent the PDU code if you want to manually submit that by yourself. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about the chapter will do that for you.
All right. If nothing else, thanks everyone for joining.
Oh, and
It was
thank you
great to
for
learn from you guys
coming.
as well.
Yeah, thank you, Zia. This is really
Thank
a
you.
good workshop, and hope everybody can take something away from this, and hope you can implement that, use that in your at work. So just two more announcements. So the next meeting is September 12th, and we have a good presenter, and also the topic is implementing of Agile in the waterfall organization. So that would be another very popular topic today. So hope you can join us in September.
And everything again till the end of the year is going to be virtual. That's the plan.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, Pat, a question.
Yes.
That PDU, is that for the second session or the first session?
So that code is for the 2 hour, for the entire 2 hour.
For both session. Okay.
Yes.
Which one? Which one? The one I just gave you, Martin, is for the first hour, and the first
but
I gave to you was 2 hours.
Yeah, the one I sent out is for the 2 hour.
2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
The one, the 40. Okay, the one you cut and paste is for 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah, the one with the SQL at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the 2 hour. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Anybody?
well,
any
thank
questions?
you, everybody.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
weekend, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.